Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is not on myself but on a dark skinned model on whom I would do a really nice soft smoky bridal makeup look, but without altering her beautiful dark chocolatey skin tone. So if you want to know how I got this beautiful sultry soft glam makeup look on her, then please continue watching. So first of all, whenever I do a client makeup, I start off by filling in the eyebrows. Here I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the shade dark brown and filling in any gaps on her eyebrows and shaping them up. Next I'm taking this LA Girl concealer in the shade Fawn and I'm gonna clean up around her eyebrows to make them look really nice, sharp and well defined. Also, I use the same concealer as an eyelid base. This particular shade is really great for darker, dusky complexions. Next, I'm picking up the Huda Beauty Rose Gold eyeshadow palette and I'm going to pick up a shade called Cocoa and blend it right through her crease. Next, I'm going to take this really nice Barbie doll pink from the same palette and applying that to the outer corners of her eyes and also on the crease of her eyes. Next, I'm moving on to this Morphe and Jaclyn Hill eyeshadow palette and I'm picking up that really dark, cool toned brown and I'm going to define her crease of her eye using a pencil brush from Pro Arte because I'm going to do a soft cut crease. So I've taken the same LA Girl concealer and I'm cutting out her crease, but not going all the way towards the outer corners of her eye, only till midway, and applying that on her entire eyelid as a base. Next, I'm picking up this beautiful golden shade from MAC, which is called Woodwinked. So I'm applying that on top of the concealer carving that I did in the previous step. Again, I'm going to pick up that Barbie doll pink and blend the gold and the outer corners of her eyes. Then I'm going to take the same cool toned brown and define the outer V of her eye using a different smudging brush. After that, I'm going to take this Sugar Heavy Duty Kohl and create a rough line on her upper lash line because I'm going to do a smudged eyeliner on her. Then I'm taking this KRYOLAN pencil brush and smudging the kohl pencil out. I'm going to add a bit of glitter onto her eyelids. So I'm using the KRYOLAN glitter in the shade Pastel Pink and I've used the aqua sealer from KRYOLAN as a base for the glitters to stick onto her eyelids properly. Then I'm going to take the Chambor Smooth on liquid eyeliner and create a very thin line along her upper lash line to make her eyelashes look nice and voluminous. I'm creating a very tiny wing on the outer corners of her eyes. Then I'm going to take a matte black shade from the Huda Beauty palette on an angled brush and I'm kind of doing a carving on the outer corners of her eyes like so. This will make her eyes look even more bigger and smokier. Moving on to the face, I'm taking the Benefit Professional primer and applying that on her face using my fingertips. Then to add a nice glowy effect to the skin, I'm using the MAC Strobe cream in the shade Peachlite. So I've just applied that onto her face using my fingertips again. Then I'm going to take the MAC Pro Conceal and Define palette and I'm going to pick up the orange color corrector from the palette and sort of color correct wherever I see darkness. So that is underneath her eyes and around the mouth, which a lot of dark Indian girls have. After that, to sheer down the color corrector, I'm using a wedge sponge which is damp to blend the product into her skin. Then I'm using a mixture of two foundations, which is the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation in the shade Nutmeg and also the MAC Studio Fix Fluid in the shade NC45. I've mixed the both foundations together to create her custom shade match. After that, I'm using the same LA Girl concealer in the shade Fawn to highlight and conceal underneath her eyes. To bring out a little bit of brightness, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix Liquid Concealer in the shade NC43 and applying that underneath her eyes, on the center of her forehead, on the center of the nose, on her cupid's bow, her chin, and also under her jawline. I'm blending that out using a PAC 212 blending brush. After that, I'm going to pick up this really dark shade called NW55 from the same MAC palette, and I'm going to use that to contour her face. So I'm just applying that on the hollows of her cheeks, on top of her upper lip, on the cupid's bow, and also on the sides of her nose. This product is really creamy, so it's very easy to blend it out. Next, I've taken this Real Techniques contour brush and I'm going to blend out all of the cream contour in place. For the nose and lips, I'm using a smaller blending brush from Real Techniques. Once that is done, I'm gonna bake under her eyes using the KRYOLAN Dermo color fixing powder in the shade P6, which is like a deep peachy shade of a powder. So I'm baking under her eyes, on her chin, on her cupid's bow, also on her smile lines, which is very important for Indian brides, and also on her forehead and on the center of her nose. So then I'm gonna take this nude eye pencil from Absolute New York, and apply it on her waterlines to make them look bigger. Then I've taken the same dark brown shade on an angled brush and tracing her lower lash line. I've taken a Pro Art pencil brush handy and I'm gonna smudge that brown eyeshadow to give it a nice smoky effect. Once the lower lash work is done, I'm going to brush off all of the excess powder from her face. Then to set her rest of the face and neck, I'm using the MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NC45 using a big fluffy powder brush. Now to set the cream contour, I'm using the Studio Fix Sculpt Shape contour palette. I'm using the shade called Shade Stir, which is like a really deep cool toned brown. So I'm basically applying that contour powder on top of the cream contour that I did earlier. Next, to highlight, I'm using the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Champagne Pop and applying that on the tops of her cheekbones. A little bit on her forehead, on the bridge of her nose, on the tip of her nose, on her cupid's bow, and also highlighting the inner corners of her eyes and the brow bone. For blusher, I'm going to take this beautiful shimmery blusher from Milani. This is the Baked blush in the shade Red Vino. So I'm just applying that on the apples of her cheeks, which adds a nice little glow to the cheeks. And also this color pops very well on darker, deeper complexions. For mascara, I'm using the Benefit Bad Girl Bang Mascara and coating her top and bottom eyelashes. I've also used falsies because falsies are mandatory for a bridal look. So I'm using the PAC Mink eyelashes in the style M70. So as soon as I've added the eyelashes, the look has really come together and completes the entire makeup look. So I'm lining her lips using the Lakme lip liner in the shade Cocoa Fudge, I believe. So I'm slightly overdrawing her upper lips because her upper lips are thinner than the lower lips. Then for lipstick, I'm using MAC Meher lipstick, which is like a blue based pink, but I felt like it kind of washed her out. So I added a bit of a deeper shade from Huda Beauty. So I've used the Huda Beauty liquid matte lipstick in the shade Vixen and applied that on the corners of her mouth to create a subtle ombre effect. And then I'm going to go ahead by cleaning up under her lower lip using the same MAC concealer palette. Now to set the makeup in place and to make the makeup look really blended and natural, I'm using the MAC Fix Plus in coconut variant. So that is the bridal look complete with a softer lip color. I've also done a bolder lip option for the same bridal look, which you guys will see in a couple of seconds. So now I am taking the Colourpop liquid lipstick in the shade More Better, which is like a deep berry pink shade. This also looks great on deeper and darker Indian complexions. So I've just applied that on her lips, and again I'm gonna go ahead and clean up around her mouth to just to make the look more neater. So that is the lip color number 2. So yeah, and this is the beautiful hairdo that we did on her for this bridal makeup look. So that is it for this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please do give this video a huge thumbs up, comment, and do not forget to subscribe. The subscribe button is right underneath this video. Then please make sure to subscribe and support me, and I shall see you all soon in my next video. Bye.